y'all, welcome to the Sugar Scoop. I'm sugar and cake artist Shelby Bower, and today we're going to be making a really beautiful sculpted castle cake. So I have my very heavy crown on for the occasion. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm starting by soaking my cakes in a homemade cherry simple syrup. I used my butter cake recipe. I baked 2 5-inch cakes and 2 7-inch cakes, and then I cut the tops off to level them and then cut them in half. For the filling, I made a cherry reduction and then I mixed it with my favorite buttercream recipe to make a cherry filling. I think this is my favorite flavor buttercream. It tastes so good. I'm putting a little bit of buttercream down to help my board stick. I'm gonna do the same thing with my first layer of cake. Now I'm layering my cake, so I have my first layer of cake, and then I have my cherry filling, and then another layer of cake, and then my orange blossom buttercream. So we're gonna go cake, then cherry, then cake, then orange blossom, then cake, then cherry, then cake. And that's it. And we're gonna do that for both cakes. Then I'm gonna crumb coat with the orange blossom buttercream, and then stick them in the fridge to chill for just a little bit. If you have a second, please check out my new online course. It's called The Art of Crystal Cakes. It is available to take now. It has so much information in it, over 7.5 hours of video lectures. You learn how to make 2 gorgeous styles of crystal cakes and so much more. Check it out. The link is in the description below. While our cakes are chilling in the fridge, I made a batch of rice cereal treats, and we're going to use these to make the towers for our cake. This is the top tower I'm working on right now, and I'm just cutting out circles, and then I'm gonna layer those circles on top of each other to make my tower. Now I'm cutting out the inside, just a little bit of the inside of the tower. This is just to, you don't have to do this step, but it's really just to make them a little bit lighter so they're not pressing down on the cake too much. I don't want all the towers to be too heavy on the cake, especially the top one. Using a white chocolate ganache, I'm gluing all those layers together onto a little cardboard base. And then I'm gonna go ahead and frost the outside like I would a cake and make it really nice and smooth for fondant later. I got my cakes out of the fridge and I'm just giving them a good layer of chocolate ganache. I'm not really worried about this layer of ganache being really perfect. I am actually going to do one more layer on the outside with my orange blossom buttercream, and this is the layer that I want to be really straight and perfect. Now I have that tower that I made, and I told you I smoothed it out with some white chocolate ganache. I got 5 cardboard cones from a local hobby supply place. I just dipped them in some white chocolate and then stuck them on the towers. I'm using some Madame Lulu fondant in Snow White and a Katie Sue design bark mold to make our stone. So we're working on the stone right now for the whole cake. I'm pressing the fondant into the mold, making sure it's nice and in there and getting in all those little grooves and whatnot. Now I'm going to cover it, take the fondant out of the mold, and I'm covering it in plastic wrap. And then I'm taking a little rectangle cookie cutter and cutting each stone out and staggering it so that the next stone's like the next layer's like in between each one. So it's kind of layered like brick. Now we're gonna glue that stone onto the tower with just brushing it with some water and sticking it on there. Cutting off the excess fondant with an X-Acto blade. I'm now a master fondant mason. I want the base of the roof tower to kind of flare out a little bit, so I'm packing on some extra fondant. So I'm just layering some fondant in there and then using some white chocolate to make that curve. I'm mixing some Madame Lulu pink fondant with some white fondant to make a really soft pink, and then rolling out a very thin layer of fondant and covering our cardboard cones with it. I do not want any cardboard showing at all. To make the roof tiles, I'm using the same pink fondant, and then I'm rolling it out a little bit thicker using this like squiggly pattern impression mold I have. And then I'm using a very small teardrop cutter and cutting out each roof tile. I need a lot of these, a lot. So brush your tower with some water to break down that fondant and make it kind of sticky. And then we're going to start layering our little tiles on. So just place them on one after another so that they go in between the first row of tiles. This creates the cutest scalloped roof. I'm going to use this technique on all of the towers. To make a little window with shutters on the top of our top tower, a mix of chocolate fondant and white fondant. Roll out a small bit and press it with a squiggly, swirly, beautiful impression mat. I cut out a little bitty arch shape and then cut that in half to make the shutter doors. And then I used this little decorative mold that I have that has a lot of little detail squiggles and stuff, and just picked out one of the smallest squiggles to make a little latch for the shutters, and I did that out of chocolate fondant. Then I glued the shutters to the roof of the tower. Then using a small star piping tip and some pink royal icing, I'm making little bitty dots and then brushing them to make little kind of petals. And then I'm gonna stagger these again. So just do a layer and then stagger the next layer and then stagger the next layer and just keep going until you make it all the way to the top. To make the clock for the top tower, I used some small circle cutters and then some small squiggly ornate molds. I just love the idea of a clock being on this tower. It's so cute. And this clock tells the time of the birth of the birthday girl. So it's just a really cute little detail. I put the clock on the tower by brushing it with some water before I painted the face of the clock. To paint the numbers, I used a really tiny little line detail brush and a steady hand. This crown is starting to give me a headache. To add a pretty little windowsill for the top tower window, I just used a pretty border mold that I had and just made it out of the same fondant and stuck it under. Now I'm covering our cakes. So I rolled out a really thin layer of that pink fondant, and then I'm going to panel, so I'm just going to cover the tops of the cakes and cut off the excess with a razor blade. I'm using the same stone technique as before to cover the cakes. I did my best to blend the seams. I'm gonna have some vines on here and stuff, and I don't think you'll really see them. And I repeated this for both cakes. I stacked my cakes using dowels. The top cake is actually placed on a foam board that I cut out by hand. I wanted the second layered towers to sit on something, so I made a board that kind of looks like Mickey Mouse. I'm gluing the towers onto the cake using royal icing. Now, after placing these towers, I'm gonna cover them with the stone. I did this because if I cover them all the way around, it might make them too bulky so they don't sit up right next to the cake. Cut off the excess with a palette knife. Using a pretty rope border mold, I made a little border for the bottom of the top cake. Another pretty ornate mold that I have, I used as a railing for that top cake for the top of that castle part. Just in between those two towers, I thought it needed a prettier railing. And another ornate border mold. I'm using this as the railing for the bottom cake and then around the back part of the top cake. To make the front walkway, I cut out a little walkway shape from cardboard and taped them together. And then I covered that in some brown fondant, textured it with just kind of a generic stone texturing mat. And then I used tiny little pieces of fondant and rolled them out into little bitty balls and squished them to make them look like little bitty cute stones, and then glued them onto the walkway, giving some space in between with just brushing some water to get them to stick. Now for the foil board. So it would have been really smart to do this step first, but I forgot, so I'm putting it on now, and I have to kind of form it to the shape of the cake. But this is, I learned this from Liz Merrick from the Sugar Geek Show, and what you do is you put foil down before you pour Isomalt water, and it makes it look kind of reflective and a little deeper. I'm also gonna build up foil around the edges to build kind of like the edge of our moat. To make the front door, I used a little template that I made, and then I'm just cutting that out of my fondant. I'm using a pretty like interlocking impression mat design to make the panels for the door. I gave the front door a little press with my squiggle swirly mat. Then I glued on the little panel pieces I made for the door just with a brush of water, and then put some squiggly hardware on there. Now I'm making more shutters for the rest of the towers. Again, I'm using water to glue on the front door, and I'm just pressing it on there, making sure that it's nice and attached to the cake. I'm placing on the shutters the same way, and I'm using a ruler just to make sure that they are nice and even and in the same place, or symmetrical. Yeah. I'm finishing the tower roofs just like the top tower, but this time I'm finishing off the very top part with a scalloped sequin mold from Marvelous Molds, putting them on the very tops of the bottom 4 towers. To make flags, I'm cutting out 2 pieces of very thin rolled out pink fondant, and I mixed the pink fondant with a little bit of Tylose so it dries really firm. I rolled the triangles out just a little bit more, brushed them with some water, then I sandwiched a wire in between both pieces of fondant and then refined that triangle shape. I let these dry on 2 straws to make them nice and wavy, and then I painted them with a detail brush. I did an A for the first letter of the birthday girl's name, and then a 4 for the age that she's turning. To make the hanging tapestry, I cut out like a shield shape from the same fondant that has some Tylose in it. Then I ruffled the edge by using a bamboo skewer and just going over the very edges of the tapestry to kind of make them ruffle and kind of pop up. I'm using a very, very tiny liner brush to paint my design. This is the tapestry for the back of the cake, but I painted the front tapestry the same way. I'm using vodka and just a little bit of purple gel food coloring to paint my design. And then of course some rose gold details with some rose gold edible dust. I used just a little bit of royal icing to hold up the tapestry and glue it on the front. Now I glued it on when it was still a little bit flexible and hadn't totally dried because I needed to kind of bend it to get it to fit into that spot. The cuteness. Covering the outside of the moat in a thin layer of green fondant. I'm attaching the bottom towers with royal icing. I'm adding a little bit of shading with an ivory airbrush color. With a thin liner brush, I'm painting swirly green vines all over the castle. I'm using the same green food coloring to paint the hill on the outside of the moat. Now it's time for gold! I'm using gold highlighter to paint the castle tower roofs and the details like the shutters and the doors. I'm piping small green leaves with royal icing. Pipe until the muscles in your hands fail. I'm not kidding. I added tiny pink roses that I made with a rose mold. Now I'm brushing the stone entrance with a little bit of white food coloring to make those stones pop. I'm finishing off the clock tower. To make the tiny roses, I used the very center of an already small rose mold. We're ready to pour our Isomalt moat. I'm mixing blue airbrush color and a little more silver edible dust than I meant to create a shimmery blue water. Be careful working with Isomalt. It is very hot and it will burn you. I'm using a bamboo skewer to make sure the Isomalt goes where I want it to. I made little swans for the front entrance. Sorry I don't show you how to make them in this video. I was trying not to make this video like 2 hours long. To place the swans, I'm heating the Isomalt with my torch and then sticking them down. And we're done. Now I just need to put on the clock tower. I made sure to place some supports down, some dowels before I did the top tower. And I'm just placing my top tower on. So pretty! Don't you just want to just eat it right away? No, I just want to keep it forever. Now, the only thing this castle is missing is a dragon. I want to say a special thank you to Yana and her daughter. Yana ordered the cake from me. She owns Ode to Joy Flowers out of Houston. So Yana technically sponsored this video by ordering the cake. She also provided me with the pictures for this cake. So I will credit the photographer in the description below. I'm taking this off. My head hurts. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for making this cake with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.